Greetings to all the lovely people present here. Myself, Fayha Fathin PP of grade 9, today to do my open defense presentation on the topic Factors that affect body image perception in teenagers. Now, looking at the topic, there are two words you may come across: body image and teenagers. So, what exactly is body image? Body image is what you think of yourself as a person, your identity and your personality. So first, let me go into the story of why I chose this topic in the first place. Way before the research program had started, I had an encounter with a girl. I was talking with her and she told me that she hated everything about herself. Her name, her identity, everything about her. And that made me wonder, who is making her like that? It is sad to see teens like me that we see every day. They may look normal, but when we talk with them, that they're vulnerable inside. So I had the question back then, and I had come to a conclusion myself that it must be the pop industry. And so when the research program was introduced, of course I went to that topic. And I selected my topic, which is the factors that affect body image perception in teenagers. So, this may seem like a very simple topic, right? We may feel like, oh, it's just what someone thinks about themselves, but underneath, the APA, American Psychology Association, had done a research regarding this about body image and teenagers, and the numbers will shock you. So, disclaimer to my research is that there is a clear difference between chasing healthy habits and chasing those unrealistic beauty standards. And this topic is very crucial because many teens, where media and societal pressures can have an effect on their self-perception. And so, I looked at the researches that has been already done in this topic. As you guys can see, there has been already researches done regarding different factors like social media, family, peers, cultural standards, and like the mental health. So, what I saw was that there was already discussions related to each and every single factor. But then, I found some gaps that need to be filled. Number one, there lacks a proper comparison between all these factors. Yes, family may have an influence. Yes, pop industry may have an influence. Many of these factors may have influence, but there is no clear research of which is the most influential among them. And number two, that there was no proper evaluation of the mental impacts. Like, is it self-confidence that comes first, or is it self-esteem that comes first in these teenagers? And these two gaps needed to be filled. And so, I made that my objectives. My main objective is to identify and analyze the most influential factor that affects body image perception in teenagers. And we need to understand this to raise awareness. And my secondary objective is to evaluate the emotional impacts such as low self-esteem and body-related bullying. And my research, thankfully, was able to fill both of these gaps. My research methodology. So, I did a research with over 170 participants through an online survey. It was between the age of 12 to 16, using a standardized tool specifically to retrieve information needed for this research. This survey included MCQs, open-ended questions, and Likert scale questions. Data collection. So, for my data collection, I had sent this survey to different people from different demographics, and I got over 170 people to participate in it. So, one thing I made sure that I kept I made sure that I did that was that I made sure that I kept the identity of the person who did the research 100% confidential. This topic is very sensitive, as you guys can think. Not a lot of teenagers would love to share that to me or to anyone in the other place. So one thing I did was I did not do an offline survey because I wanted to keep the identity of the participant anonymous, and I made sure that I did not collect their name or any other kind of details except their class and age. So I made sure that I kept their identity 100% confidential. There is a there's an option in Google Form where you can actually collect the emails. I refuse to put that so that I can keep their identity 100% confidential. I even informed the participants that none of this information would be leaked as with your identity. So my data collection and analysis. As you may know, Google Forms provide already visualized data, and from that I had to retrieve using percentages and many other things. I made different kind of tables regarding all the objectives that I had. And the challenges was because this is a kind of a very sensitive topic, not a lot of people may have done the research with 100% accuracy. They may have given the answers according to what they vision themselves to be and where they do not stand. But what I must say is that a lot of the participants have done the research sincerely. And I can understand then from the open-ended questions about how much people wrote, the amount of content that they shared. The vulnerable situation of these teenagers was evident from some of my results. So, when I talk about the factors that affect body image perception, we live in the 21st century. And what will we expect to come number one? Every single one of us will expect social media to become the most influential factor. But guess what? My research just defied that perspective. I was shocked. I had a perspective that maybe social media or pop industry may come at first, but my results show that family came at number one, the most influencing a factor that affects body image perception in teenagers. That was shocking for me. We must realize we are two family. We always say that social media is what destroys the youth today. But guess what? Social media came at first, followed closely by social media. Family came at first, followed closely by social media, and the many cultural pressures like fair skin. I know many people who wrote in the thing that just because they have dark skin, they felt that they cannot become rich. Societal standards gave them inferiority complex when all the other people in their family had fair skin. We still say that racism has ended, but have it really? When a new baby is born, what do we look? If the baby is fair or not? When a mom is expecting, we tell the mom to have saffron so that the baby gets fair skin. When we're searching for a bride, we look if the bride has some color. Why do we still paint brides in like 2 shades lighter than the original shade, just so that people can think that they have fair skin? We say racism has ended, but I don't think so. Until and unless our mindset changes about all these factors, they cannot really be made a difference. So, one thing I was shocked to see is that family comments had a deeper emotional impact than peers. Now, let me move to my research. If you haven't listened to any of my talk, there's one thing I wanted to concentrate, and this is this table only. This table is like the essence of my research. And this is the participants' perception of influencing factors. And guess what? As I said, family came at number one with 58.8% of the participants. That's like 100 people from 170 participants marked family as the number one. 58.8% is not a simple number. Next, it's followed so closely by social media with over 31.8% people marking social media as the next one. So my next one is the mental health impact. I want you guys to focus on here. And here, low self-confidence, 47.6%. Youth, teenagers are tomorrow's youth. If we have over 50% of my participants suffering from low self-confidence, where do we see the youth of tomorrow? So, I would like to say something, and that is the scope for future research. If someone is trying to expand my research, or if I myself want to expand my research, I would definitely look and research the most influential factor. Family came at number one. And I want to know why. Children these days sit on social media 24/7. But still, family came at number one, and I want to find out why. And also about social media, it's quite evident why social media came at second. Mental health focus, there should be more research exploring between body image, dissatisfaction. I mean, that would be another way of continuing my research. And last and finally is to find the difference between healthy body image and unhealthy body image. Now, let me just make the difference, is that healthy body image Healthy body image defies that we look for a healthy body while keeping a healthy mindset. But unhealthy body image is just the opposite of that. Conclusion. So, my challenges, as I said, is that because it's a psychological topic, not a lot of people would have answered it really well. And the significance is that this just reveals how pathetic the situation of our society is. We may complain social media, but family came at number one. So, here's my implications. So, there's a difference between implication and recommendation. So, implication is basically the theoretical part of what I have found, and recommendation is basically what would be the practical part of what I found. So, implication would be definitely balancing health and mindset. So, and second would be family and social awareness, and third would be realistic media portrayals. Recommendations. Number one, promoting healthy lifestyle. If we promote healthy lifestyle, if we tell the teenagers that you should not judge your worth against these photoshops, these fillers, and all these kind of unrealistic beauty standards that change every single minute, then that's the first thing that we should be doing. And second, of course, is to build emotional resilience, because no matter what people say, no matter what the media say, no matter what family says to you, you should have the willpower to just ignore them. And second one is media responsibility. Third one is media responsibility. And last and finally is family awareness. See, we may feel it's just a comment. We may feel that, oh, I'm not even affecting her. I'm just saying it for her goodness. But that, even sometimes they're in a very, very low spot. And that may hit them hard, leading to many factors like low self-confidence. Acknowledgements. So I was very, very passionate about doing this topic because I had a question, I wanted an answer, and thankfully I was able to find the answer for it. First of all, I want to thank my school for providing such a wonderful opportunity, and I want to thank Miss Rati ma'am for helping me with curating my article. She really helped me do that. I was kind of clueless at the first time. And finally, to all the 170 participants who truthfully did my participant, because that made my data more accurate. And these are some references that I used in my article. So these are 6 of them. And I have quoted in my article from these 6 references only, because there was no lot of data that could be available for me.